I run strategic partnerships for Facebook across Asia, with India being one of our most important and thriving countries. Hopefully many of you saw Ime's talk in the morning. So I'm not going to go, this isn't going to be about Facebook's vision or what it is that we're really doing and the trends it is that we're seeing. It's really going to be about the tools it is that we've been able to make available that we hope you're able to use to grow your apps. And so think about, I don't know, I would love to get just a sense of who's in the room. Like, how many of you are building a mobile app? Awesome. And how many of you are already using some sort of Facebook API or SDK in your... Okay, cool. So those of you who have your hands up will want to learn from your experiences as well. Ime talked this morning, and you've probably seen it on our website. We really think about our mission to make the world more open and connected. But as Ime said, we know that we can't do that ourselves. It's a big mission, and we know we're only going to be able to do that by partnering with developers and helping you guys build products it is that people love, that can scale, and that can ultimately help us achieve this mission of connecting the world. And so the framework upon which we built a lot of the tools to support developers is what we call build, grow, and monetize. But for this session, we thought we would actually frame it a bit differently and really talk about it build, grow, and beyond. So we're thinking about beyond just Indian markets and how we can help you take your products there. And so like I said, it's going to be an informal session. If you have questions as I am going through any of it, please feel free. Many of you have been to our FB Start events where we go through this content in much more detail. Here I'm going to talk for about 10-15 minutes. We have two developers who have been using Facebook products to be able to share their experience with you. And then we want to keep as much time as possible open for you guys to be able to ask questions that you may have. So let's dig into this. Cool. So one of the first things that we've made available for you guys is Parse. We know that being able to build an app is a lot of hard work. You have to think about your networks, you have to think about your database, you have to think about security. And so we wanted to offer a product that allows you to take the back end off of your plate and really focus on kind of users and the design and the experience it is that you create. So you can go to parse.com and download any of our SDKs. It will really help you kind of manage all of your back end. Hirsch, in a few minutes, will talk about his experience in using Parse and the efficiencies it is that he is gaining through that. And it's always great to start a first slide with a giveaway. So for any of you who are building out mobile apps, if you go to parse.com/coupon/Parse Bangalore 2015, you'll right away get a $250 credit. You'll see us refer to FB Start a number of times. Ime talked about earlier today that FB Start, we distribute the most FB Start grants to developers in India after the US, over $21 million over the course of the last year. And it's a program that's available for all of you. I encourage you to apply. There's 3 tracks. And one of the benefits that you will get as being an FB Start member is $5,000 of Parse credit to help you start building your app. This is something it is that we've actually incorporated in our developer toolkit after learning from our own engineers at Facebook. So at Facebook, we're always trying to optimize our experience for users in low bandwidth situations on Android phones. It's a problem it is that we have teams of engineers trying to solve. And so what we've been able to do is take their learnings and their lessons and make that available to you through these open source directories. So for example, being able to test, what we often do is when we test on devices, we use an Android or we use an iPhone, but what our engineers have learned is that that we actually need to put them into year classes based on functionality, as opposed to the year it is that they were made. And so this tool will help you be able to do that. I think the most interesting one that we've seen help developers is Stetho, which will allow you to see kind of the performance of your app in a low bandwidth situation with poor networks. We are struggling here in this hotel at a tech conference with a poor network. And so for all of you who are really trying to reach users in India, Ime showed you that pie chart earlier today. 82% of people aren't connected, but even the 18% that are connected are not connected on strong networks. And so we're really excited to be able to make these tools available for you so that you can improve the performance of your own apps. And just a couple other things, like as our engineers have been trying to make Facebook as efficient as it can for markets like India. Things it is that we've learned is that, of course, we need to support multiple languages. I think that often we build an app towards a Western audience, and even we think about the audiences in India that can read English. And increasingly, we at Facebook are beginning to invest in language support. Through the FB Start program, you will be able to get support with a global organization called Verbalize It for languages all over the world, but then also a more local organization called Referral, which I think spoke yesterday at the conference. And we can make their APIs available to you for free to be able to adapt your product into multiple languages. Of course, we need to work with cash-only transactions, and so we just want to remind developers to do that. And then finally, actually Savin shared this with us a couple weeks ago in a meeting with them. They said that what they've noticed as they did some research is that before people download their app, you guys know Savin? Yeah, music streaming. Before they download their app, what people will do is go to their mobile website, www.savin.com, to see what it is, because people are very sensitive to both the cost of the download as well as the bandwidth usage. And so our advice, building off of that learning to everybody, is to actually create a very basic website so that people can see what your app is because they want to do that before they download. So moving on to grow, which is where we believe Facebook can really help. Sorry. Is there AV? I don't know if I need it here, but I'll need it later. So where Facebook can really help you is in growing your app and in using kind of Facebook as an organic method to be able to do that. And so just this year, we've actually improved the login experience. We know that trust is really important, and the data it is that you ask of your users has a really large implication on the trust it is that you have with your users. And so I just want to take you through what the new login experience looks like. I think there should be AV, but if not, it's okay. And so here you'll see now people can control the kind of information it is that they're able to give you. So they can choose not to give you their email address, for example, if they don't want to. And we've seen that this has led to a 55% decrease in app developers having to ask users of their preference, and an 11 percentage point increase in click-through rates. Yeah.
For educating people, a lot of people just think that getting into Facebook, there's a lot of dropouts just by not trusting the
You're going to have to talk as loud as I talk.
So basically, the trust factor still needs to be there, right? And making people aware that logging with Facebook, you still have that kind of control, especially in the Indian market, where they're so used to the fact that all their information is shared. So, you have any
Yeah, there's nothing we can really do about that except give people the experience, right? I mean, we do let people know about this through our own communication materials, but probably everybody is not checking out like newsroom@facebook.org to find this information out. And so we really, the only way, like as an industry, are we going to be able to help people understand that they actually have control over the information that they give you as app developers, is if we start showing them the experience and we help them see that they can control it. But there's very few other ways of doing this. Ime has something to add.
Just that. So one of the best practices that we've seen recently is developers and app creators actually do the education on their side too, regardless of what language. Something that resonates with their user base, which is something we will not share information with all your friends or whatever the language is, but something to actually capture the fact that people are scared of whatever it is. It could be sharing, it could be capturing data, but so people actually doing that education on their side as developers, and it helps with that click-through rate that we've already seen with all the changes that we've been able to make.
You guys, a lot of people came in after we've started. We're keeping this session informal, so please feel free to come up in the front. We're not using mics. I hope everybody can still hear. In the back? Okay, cool. So then the other way to really kind of use Facebook to grow is by getting referral traffic. And so there are a number of different ways it is that you can get your users to share. The most basic ways, of course, are through friend and group sharing, and then just recently we've now been able to incorporate Messenger so that you can allow users to be able to share one-on-one. I wanted to be able to show you that experience. But we've seen that this is like the most organic and natural way to make sure that your content and what users are doing are on your content is showing up in other people in a beautiful way. And then finally is app invites. And so this is actually something that I'm going to show you because we've built a new experience for this. But what we've found is that if somebody is loving your app, someone's loving MuseJam, they want to probably share it with their friends. And so we wanted to make a really easy way for them to be able to share it with their friends. So again, that the referral is happening organically and in a way that people really trust. So we can actually take you through this experience because I think this is something that people don't know as much. This is what you would see as the sender. So you really love MuseJam and now you want to send it to your friend. Can you guys see? This example is Instagram. I love Instagram. I'm going to send it out to my friends. Pick my friends. Cool, the invite was sent. And now this is what it is that you'll experience on the receiver end. We've actually created a separate space in the app for people to be able to receive their app invites. So you get a message. You see the title of the page says app invites. That's where you'll get the invite. You can install it directly by pushing the button. Now it's installed on your friend's phone.
This will go as a push notification. So the person having open Facebook, they'll get this invite on their
They'll get it on their screen.
as a push notification.
Exactly.
Okay, just one question. This login through Facebook. Does Facebook charge any money to the app developer for that?
No, it's all free. There's not any tool that I've talked about here so far that we charge you for. They're all open APIs.
Okay.
Available on developers.facebook.com.
Okay. And then the developer wants insights of the people who have logged into the Facebook group
Yep.
in terms of their interest and other stuff.
Yep. So
Does Facebook share it without any charges, or there would be, suppose I want to do some analysis on the people who have logged into the Facebook group?
Yep, so we'll talk about using App Analytics. I think Hirsch has actually used App Analytics, and so you can use our App Analytics backend to be able to get more information, both about the performance as well as about user interests, but also it depends on the information it is that you request. So we often work with developers who believe, they're like, yeah, I'm using Facebook login, But when I actually look at what they're using, they're only using like friends, for example. They're not getting friends' interests and things like that. So you have to be very specific about the information that you're collecting during the login process. So then you have that to be able to play with, to be able to do the better targeting you want to do.
Without any charge, one can get this.
Yeah, guys, there's nothing that I've talked about so far that you have to pay us for. That's the beauty of the team it is that we work on, is that we really, we exist to build out tools that are free to be able to help you guys build better products. And it's not totally not in our interest. If we, like we said, want to make the world more open and connected, we know we need to have an experience that people love. And people are going to love things beyond Facebook. So we want to help you guys and your products that people love become big to be able to make this happen. So I will tell you in a little while, there's a couple things it is that we can charge for, but you can ask me again then and I'll have to say yes.
Just to round out that thought really quickly, we might get to it a little bit later, but there is a general insights tool that we've been building since day one when we launched the platform, where if you're a developer, you can cut in, like DP said, there's a bunch of information that continues to get better now over the years that we've done a great job at. It sounds like we're going to talk about app analytics a little bit later, which is great. But then there's also just this broad insights tool, which will give you things like the demographic breakdown of the people that have logged into your application. I will say that it's fairly general. Like ultimately, we're building this platform, and we have to not necessarily boil it down to the lowest common denominator, but we have to keep it pretty generic. So depending on what type of demographic data you're trying to drill into, there's a developer ecosystem out there that actually will charge you to use their tool to actually help you understand your cohorts a little bit more, but hopefully we have enough of that free tools for you to make great business decisions based off of just what we're able to offer you for free. Yeah.
And if we really, are thinking about building more successful applications and be able to increase the number of people that are using our products, we need to be able to reach new to internet users. And so internet.org is our distribution platform to be able to reach those users. But just like Facebook, it's only going to be as powerful as you guys make it. So Baba Jobs will speak in a little while about what their experience was like getting on internet.org, their blue-collar job site that helps people get on, and their largest challenge was that the people it is that they were trying to target didn't have internet access. And so this helps them solve that problem. But I think even for those of you who may have started building your app for a ready on-internet population, this is a way that you can reach new populations. So you need to go to internet.org/platform. Every app that submits, as long as you meet our technical specifications, and our technical specifications are really designed for low bandwidth situations, which the majority of our users are on, and feature phones, which a lot of these users are on as well. And so as long as you meet those specifications, you can get on, and we really look forward to that. I don't know, did English Dose, are you guys here, Pankaj? Okay, not here, that's cool. But I think that a lot of you are likely building apps. And internet.org requires you to build a website. And so I just wanted to share an example of how this organization, English Dose, it teaches English and kind of in native languages through this gamified process, has been able to take its app experience and then build out multiple websites to be able to take users through that same experience. Because, again, like Baba Job, their core constituency was a constituency that otherwise wasn't online, and internet.org is helping them get there. So then finally on to Beyond, and to answer these questions around analytics, you're able to use the analytics tool it is that we have to see which campaigns it is that you're running are working, which tools are working. You can segment demographically. You can understand where drop-off is actually happening, and you can use kind of this cohort system it is that we've been able to create to be able to really understand the behavior of your users. And it's all cross-device and covers a variety of different demographic lines. And then finally, as you think about expanding beyond This is what you end up having to pay for, so I'll be clear about that up front. But we're really excited to be able to use kind of mobile install ads where you're able to get your app into the news feed of people, of the correct demographic it is that you choose, and encourage them to download your app on Facebook.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
where do you charge per install or do you charge for showing that ad on the people's newsfeed?
I think we charge, I think we
You
charge.
can go both ways, CPA or CPI.
Okay.
CPC, or say CPA, CPC. Yep. You can choose, depends on what campaign you want.
Is there any approximate ballpark number how much you charge per install or?
No, it truly depends on app,
Okay.
geo, space, time of day, all the good things, yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the kind of, the demographic you are choosing to reach out. If you are choosing a small, it would be less. If you are choosing a lot of people, it would be less. As it is.
And pricing varies based on market and things like that too.
So you're talking about CPI, cost per install.
Impression.
Impression.
So this is just an example of what it would look like. It's an ad in someone's news feed. And then finally, Audience Network. We have a big developer conference every year called F8. We hope to see more and more of you there in person. But what we announced this last year is this tool called Audience Network. For this, I'll need AV. I hope it works. So just want to show you what that product is all about.
We have to apply for that thing.
It can be challenging to make money from mobile ads in your app.
Start it again.
It can be challenging to make money from mobile ads in your app. That's because when ads don't work for people, nobody wins. With Audience Network, we provide a mobile advertising experience for your app that works for everyone. Just pick the ad format that's right for your app. From banners and interstitials to customizable native ads that match the look and feel of your app. Then, Facebook's network of advertisers using Facebook's accurate targeting shows your audience ads they want to see from brands they care about. So you can build a business from the app you worked hard to create.
So that's it. We just wanted to give you a flavor of the tools that are available. There's nothing it is that I shared today that is not available on developers.facebook.com with really kind of like self-explanatory docs and developer docs made for you. That's how the majority of developers are able to use our tools. And we just wanted to be able to make sure that you knew what they were. And now really happy to open it up to kind of question and answer. And